Hey guys, Omar here from My Point of View, and today I have this 2020 Chevrolet Malibu LT. Yes, 2020, and today is a Tuesday afternoon. It is very cold. Monday night kind of snowed just a little bit. It's not so bad right now because it's like 1 in the afternoon, so all the snow kind of melted. So right now, let's just go ahead and do a quick little walk around the exterior. So this is the 2020 LT. We do have the 2019 LTs as well, and the exterior is pretty much the same. As you can see, I got the temporary tags right now because we did get this brand new, I think 4 or 5 days ago. So it's very low on mileage right now. But I think it's a beautiful car, exterior wise, and this color does kind of suit this vehicle. It's not too flamboyant on the styling. It's kind of conservative. And let's go ahead and just check on the inside real quick. Door panel's the same as 2019. The seats are the same. Pretty much everything's the same in this vehicle. Clean off my shoes just a little bit. Seats are still the same. The steering wheel's the same. The gauge cluster is still the same. So let's go ahead and start it up real quick. It's a cold startup. Yes, currently I only have 27 miles on it. I did get this car brand new, as you can see on the temporary tags. I had it when I had like 3 miles on the odometer. Like an infotainment center, there is changes on this vehicle. Pretty much just one, as you can see right now. This yes, for 2020, the Chevrolet Malibu has the option to turn off and on the auto start system, which is a lot of customers will be happy about that. And I think the only thing else that's changed is there was a light. Let me see if I can zoom in. When you turn on the climate control, there'll be like a light bar right here, and it will illuminate blue to indicate like the fan speed. Now I have yet to see it on this vehicle. I'm not for sure if Chevrolet has removed it or not, and I'll take a guess that it's been removed for 2020. So here is the 2019 Chevrolet Malibu LT. As you can see, it's just the hazard lights here at the top by itself. And this is what I meant by the fan speed. So I just turn on the air conditioner. This is a blue light that illuminates here. Now when it's like sunny out, it's kind of hard to see it. But all they did was keep this screen up here and I guess turn off the blue light down here. I'm not for sure why, but yeah, that's the 2019's climate control. But other than that, everything's still the same. The infotainment's still the same. Nothing else has been added on. So this has no sunroof option or anything like that. It's just a a basic mid-size car. So I'll give more in-depth of the driver dynamics and the performance later on in the video. So let's go outside. It's still kind of cold. It's 30 degrees right now, and I'm about to do my full-on review. But there's a few more things I'm going to go over: the styling of the exterior, and I'm going to come back and find some flaws I found in the interior as well. So let's go step on this code real quick. So what I'm going to do right now is the door is locked. You have a lock button right here, and it's illuminated and lets you know that it's locked. You pull once, it's still locked. You pull again, it unlocks. Kind of loud, and it's nighttime as well. I don't want to cause too much attention over here. But anyways, I do want to go back over the styling real quick because in this video you'll see me make a lot of reference to the Honda Accord that I tested earlier in my previous videos. But here's the styling. I really do like the styling of this 9th generation Chevrolet Malibu. The front end is very nice and aggressive. Some may not like the facelift from the 2016 through 2018. The facelift was pretty much the same in 2019 and is carried on to this model 2020. I like the front end of it. It's also on the 1LS, or if it's still have an LS trim, and this LT, the Premier and the RS. And back onto the rear real quick. For the L and the L trim, you still have the same old, dare not call it old, tail lights, but you still have the same tail lights. But for, I believe the RS is optional. I believe, I should double check on that, but the RS, I believe you get these tail lights as well. The LT trim, which I have right here, you have these I would say like airplane type of design. It kind of reminds me of a Lamborghini Aventador. I think the Lamborghini Aventadors go the opposite direction. Like this pointing in is going this way, and then the fins are like that. You can also get this on the Premier model as well, on the Premier trim level. But I really do like these taillights design. This kind of stands out for me. I really do like how this is integrated into the Malibu lineup. And while we're at the back, I really do like the sloping rear end. And this is where I'm going to start the comparison between the Accord and the Malibu. It's kind of sloping like it should be like a top of a hatch. Like this whole thing should be lifted up. Everyone talks about the Accord, but same could be said for the Chevrolet Malibu, just from my point of view. That's one trade-off of the comparison between the Honda Accord and the Chevrolet Malibu. Let us just go ahead and do a more in-depth review of the interior, where it's nice and warm. All right, so the steering wheel is kind of pretty thin, but you do get kind of a good 9-3 grip. Steering feel is pretty good. It's not like a Volkswagen Atlas. You do have some feedback to it. You have your headlights control down here, your dim switch over here onto the left, and then at the bottom, which we'll open up here in a second, you have your hood release. You also have your foot brake. Nice feel, doesn't feel too hard to engage and disengage. Now sadly, here's one little flaw I kind of noticed about the Malibu. You only have one USB insert down here, but you use this little socket to also charge up your phones, or you may just have like a universal cigarette lighter thing. I'm just going on about too much. You have your auxiliary cord. I remember for 2000 and I think the 18s, some 18s, Chevrolet Malibus, they even have auxiliary cord, which was like really weird. And I think this is a universal. I have no idea what this is. If someone can please inform me what this is in the comment section, that'd be great. You got your traction control button right here, down next to the gear lever. This is a CVT transmission. I'll get more into the engine, the drivetrain, the powertrain, etc. But this is a CVT. You can still, for some reason, change gears. I spoke about this earlier in the video about the auto start button. You click it. It is actually, when the light is illuminated, that means the system is on. You click it, the system is off. So if I click it on, engine auto stop on, auto stop off. So for demonstration purposes, I am going to just keep it off real quick. This is what I like about the infotainment center. So I'm going to set up these radio stations. So that's the radio station I've been listening to. Hold and set. Easy. What is one thing I like is you can switch from FM, and then you can save your satellite radio right next to it, and then you can switch to your FM station. So if I click down, it would go from 101 to the satellite radio and then back to FM. Usually some of these save channels, you're going to do FM, and then the next ones will be like the satellite radio, but these are both integrated together, which I really like. They're both combined, which I really like. So the storage space in here is so-so. I mean, it's just a regular storage compartment right here. There are no USB ports inside of here, so that's the only one USB port. Everything else has to go through the little sockets, which is kind of annoying. I'm in this LT trim level. You get in cloth seats and optional leather seats. These seats, the comfort of these seats, brand new, are so-so. I've sat in worse, but I do prefer the cloth seats in the Chevrolet Blazer, and this is my second time mentioning the Chevrolet Blazer. There'll be a review on it and on this channel very soon. It's either you like it or you dislike it, but to me it's kind of pleasant. It can do. It could be better, but it is what it is. That's all I can say about these seats. So what I'm gonna do now is just go ahead and turn off everything. I don't really trust. I know it's late at night, and I really don't trust leaving this car running. So let's see if it actually has a little bit of Holden Commodore in its blood. And by that, I mean in his heart. And by the heart, I mean underneath the hood. So, ooh. Very light hood. I just like lift this up with one finger. That's pathetically light. I thought it was hydraulic for a quick second, but it isn't. So no, this is not a Holden Commodore. You don't even get a freaking V6 in here. The only two engine options, well actually three, is a 1.5, a 1.8, which is that's the hybrid, and a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder. The one I have right now is the 1.5, and for 2019 and 2020, this 1.5 and the LS, this model, the LT and the RS, is made it to a CVT transmission. It doesn't have the 6-speed automatic gearbox anymore. The 2-liter turbo is made it to a 9-speed automatic gearbox, and I'll get to that in a second. But that's enough for the Holden Commodore comparison. I want to get back to the Honda Accord that I test drove earlier, and this one real quick. There's more comparisons between those two. So this one is a 1.5, and the Accord I drove as well was a 1.5. This is made to a CVT transmission, the same for the Honda Accord. However, this 1.5 only has 163 brake horsepower and 184 foot-pound of torque, while the Honda Accord that I test drove earlier had 192 brake horsepower and 192 foot-pounds of torque. Man, that is a huge significant difference, especially in the horsepower. A freaking 163 in 2020 in a mid-size car, a CVT transmission. But yet again, the Accord, yes, it does come with a CVT transmission, but you can get a 6-speed manual transmission as optional. This is just only this is only just a CVT, a 1-speed CVT as well. But it doesn't really stop there, because you got the hybrid trim level, which I'm not going to get into. I want to jump in with the 2-liter turbo as well. So this one also has a 2-liter turbo, like I stated earlier. It is made it to a 9-speed automatic gearbox, while the Accord is also a 2-liter turbo, but it's made it to a 10-speed automatic gearbox. And one is it better because it's one more gear? I wouldn't say, but once again, the 2-liter turbo is only paired with a 9-speed automatic gearbox, while the Accord is paired with a 10-speed or, again, a 6-speed manual transmission. So with the Accord, you get just more options than just the Malibu with its powertrain. Now, I would get more to the whole 163 brake horsepower, 180 foot-pounds for the torque. It's kind of weird because this engine is also shared in the Equinox and the Terrain, and both of those have more horsepower than the Malibu. So this can also have more power, but it's very low. It's a very light hood, not to slam it down whatsoever. So let's get back inside real quick and let's talk about the way it drives. Let's see how it handles that power and see how good that CVT transmission is. So the engine is quiet upon startup and it's idling as well. But let's go ahead and go for a quick road drive. The difference right out the back is nothing wrong with the Malibu steering, but the turning radius is not as precise. Well, it just has a good turning feel. The Malibu, it does have a quick ratio as the Accord, which to me is nothing lost with that. It's just the Accord is easy to maneuver around, like in tight spaces. This is also easy to maneuver around as well. Now, when you're going to low speeds, going up a hill, something like that, you do hear the engine quite loud. And I believe Consumer Reports quote it as being a rap speed engine, which I can understand. Let's see if you can tell. If you stay below 2,500 RPMs, you don't really hear the engine that much. It's just when, like I stated earlier, when you're going up a hill, something like that, you do hear the engine kind of grinding. You hear the torque. You're just trying to get up the hill, something like that. Other than that, Driving on a highway, which I'm not going to include in this video, this vehicle is very smooth and refined. This CVT has to be one of the best CVT transmissions I have ever driven. It's really smooth. I don't feel that rubber band effect like I feel like in a Nissan. Driving this car around, it doesn't feel underpowered. If you're just cruising along, giving it a slight throttle, I love the way this engine is paired up with the CVT transmission. Comparing this to the Accord, the 1.5 CVT, and this one as well, the Accord seemed more savage. Like, it was like up in your face. You could tell it had more power because not only does it have more power, but the delivery of the power just came in one big lump. So there'll be like a little hesitation, like the same way with this Chevrolet Malibu, once you get off the lineup a little bit, but then it picks up very quickly. This one picks up as well, but it's not as apparent as the Accord. Brand new, man. This ride is so comfortable and smooth. Honestly, the whole engine, the power, the drivetrain, all that stuff, everything in this car feels like a detuned version of the Honda Accord. The CVT transmission is glass smooth. I mean, just very. So if I just want to go up this little hill real quick, let you hear the engine. This is kind of a steep incline. It's very peppy. I mean, the power band, that's exactly what I like about this car. It stayed exactly, of course, it's a CVT. It stayed around 2,700 RPM, and I just felt the torque. It kept pulling constantly. I know a lot of people were like, oh, it's a CVT. I want the old 6-speed automatic gearbox. Listen, I've driven the 6-speed automatic gearbox Malibu plenty of times. You feel the torque? Yes. But I believe that this is more superior. This suits the engine perfectly. I mean, yes, 160 horsepower seems very low, but that torque, 180 foot-pounds of torque, that's where it's at. And this uses every single last bit of it when you use the CVT transmission. Please give it a try. This is the reason why I keep renting this car, because I just love the way it drives. Driver dynamics, the pedigree. Yes, the Accord is powerful and handles better. I have a better drive position in the Chevrolet Malibu versus the Honda Accord. However, sitting behind myself in the Honda Accord, as I showed you in its video, I can sit behind myself in my job position in the Accord, and while the Malibu, I cannot. And that's the type of power delivery I like. It was just a very smooth transaction. It just glided through. I did give it like 50% throttle right there. I've yet to go full throttle on this thing. Nice quick little acceleration for you. It wasn't a 0-60, and once again, I was not going full throttle. So as I stated earlier about my top 3 favorite cars, the McLaren, the Viper, and the Pontiac G8. A car like this, 163 brake horsepower from a 1.5 4-cylinder turbo, made it to a CVT transmission. Why do I like this car? It's kind of a weird feeling. It's very hard for me to explain. And while I do like this car, there's some things I dislike greatly about it. And for one, I have to say the price. This one, the way it was equipped with the cloth seats, the heated seats, it had no blind spot monitoring, no lane departure, no forward collision. All this stuff is available, but it's an optional extra. But as we saw in the Accord, estimate it would cost around $25,000, and those safety features came standard. Radar guided cruise control. That's one of my favorite safety features in today's cars. It's not the brand new radar guided cruise control. It was available in, I believe, in 2004 Mercedes S-Class. I watched on the Top Gear episode for $27,000, and the best thing it has right now, as it is equipped, even though this car was made for fleet, just keep that in mind. The best thing it has is just the heated seats. It does have the sunroof option. It has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, but yet again, a lot of cars have those implemented in their infotainment center. You can get that in the Kia Rio. So I can't really give that car much credit for it. Also, I don't like the headlights. I like the headlights. I like the design of it, but for some reason, as you can see, one is like a halogen light, and the other one is LED. So the LEDs actually look like it's an aftermarket. I wish the headlights were also LEDs just to match the style of the car. But it doesn't match with the whole color right now, but that looks kind of aftermarket to me. I'm not for sure how you guys feel about that as well. So apart from the price, a comparison against the Honda Accord outperforms the Chevrolet Malibu in both the 1.5 and I'm pretty sure the 2-liter turbo as well. And the Accord just has more of a pedigree to at least its name, and also the driving dynamics like I just stated. With that being said, the styling, the way the engine, the powertrain, the delivery, all that stuff, I shouldn't like this car, but I like it on par with the Dodge Charger RT. And that's a feeling that I cannot explain. So I will opt out for leather seats. I hate the cloth seats. I want the leather wrap steering wheel, the leather wrap gearbox. Also, I don't like the trim levels for the Chevrolet Malibu. You got the L and LS, which I care less about. It's just a base, does have power seats, and there's a part that does have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, stuff like that. At least the LT trim, I wish General Motors, Chevy would put the 2-liter turbo in the LT trim. Also, the 2-liter turbo into the RS model. I think it's ridiculous how you have a RS model with just a 1.5 CVT transmission. Again, nothing wrong with the engine, but it's a rally sport, and you still have 163 brake horsepower. The same one you get in the L, the LS, the LT, another one LT, but come on, you only have 2 petroleum engine options, and come on, you at least mix in the 2-liter just a little bit more, not just have it exclusive for the Premier package. Also, I wish that, well, sadly, that the Chevrolet Malibu is being discontinued. That 4-cylinder in the Chevrolet Malibu is no joke. I believe that has 197 brake horsepower. I'm not for sure if I do a review on the Chevrolet Malibu, the 4-cylinder one at least. But that engine is very smooth. I wish that engine was available in the Chevrolet Malibu. I wish that was paired with like a 9-speed automatic gearbox. I would love to see how that thing performs. I like the 1.5, but there's definitely, you have another option, a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder with more power. There's going to be no lag whatsoever. And those Impalas have been in the fleets, and I haven't seen any so far major issues with those 4-cylinders. And the 1.5 in this, I have. Also, speak about the Impala, I wish the 3.6 drive from the Impala would make its way into the Malibu. That would be nice. Compete with the Camry SE. That's the only one with the V6. The V6 in the Impala 305 has more horsepower and probably more torque than the Camry. That's one figure. And it also has flex fuel. The reason I bring up the Impala and not like the Buick Regal GS and the Buick LaCrosse, it's the same 3.6, but it's a different engine. I like the flex fuel engine in the Impala better. Gets you more power, of course, less miles per gallon, but it's a cool flex fuel, race fuel, I would say. From my point of view, once again, I really like this car. I do. The Accord runs, like I said, it outperforms. I think it's better bang for your buck. And if you will choose the Accord over the Malibu, I could totally understand why. But that platform, it deserves so much more. And it's a darn shame because this has so much more potential. You can get potential to anything and it could be better. But this is the prime candidate for it. It could do so much better. And I'm actually ashamed that this is all that it is. So much more could come out of this car. This is a fantastic car, and I just wish it was just, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever know, but that's the sad reality. From my point of view, it's a fair car. There are better options with more features as standards. Even in the Toyota Camry, I forgot to mention that had a radar, got a cruise control as well. And I'm pretty sure it costs less than $27,000. So shop around, but yet don't count out the Malibu. That's all I would say. Thank you for watching my video.